what is the best advice that you've got in terms of communication and like presenting yourself?
Okay, one time this happens in Renault. Uh, a design director was my boss and also VP, so very important. I can say the name, there's no problem. Patrick Lechapi, who is a very nice friend too. Excellent guy with who we made, thanks to him, we made the Twizy. And visionary too. Patrick, one time he called me in his office and said, "Hey, look, Luciano, I know you, I understand you, but sometimes you exaggerate. We are in France, we are French people. Remember that contain yourself on some things." And he really helped me. Of course, at the beginning I was mad. I said, "Oh, cats." But then you say, "Come on, he is right. You said 3 sentences that they were not necessary to this discussion. So you take time to the others. And you put yourself too much in front."
But this is the problem. This is a problem that I have. I have a fucking big problem to. I have this. I can't. The best way that I can describe it or explain it is that if I'm telling a story or even just communicating some piece of information, I always feel the need to over communicate, so that there's nothing lost in translation. That's fine if, you are working with somebody and you are trying to describe an idea. But if you are, you want them to do something very specific, then a lot of information is good. But the art of conversation, it's something that kind of eludes me when it's like knowing what to leave out.
The thing is that when we write, you use a certain type of communication in your priority. You always have a sort of a checklist to make sure that the key points are not forgotten, for work, also between a son and a father, or, a wife or friends, to make sure that you want to communicate some points. So you put that. When you are talking in a normal conversation, more or less you can do the same thing because it's a normal casual conversation. But when you are presenting a project, even if it's just 30 minutes and there are other people presenting and stuff, which is not important to take decisions, it's just to show the work in progress. And for example, you have your big boss, the boss of your boss, and you are presenting, and then there is a moment that they will talk. You have 5 minutes. Therefore, it changes the type of priority in the 3 things that you have to say. You need an introduction, a short explanation that is really 4 or 5 words, like a sentence that you can say in a few seconds that explains a little bit more your introduction, and then you end with your introduction because reinforces the point. And I learned this in America with a teacher in Art Center that was teaching us portfolio and communication.
What did he say on that? When you have an opening statement and you end on that statement.
What happens is that basically I explain this to people too. Basically, if you say the apple is green, I already gave you all the most important information about an apple. Then I can tell you that the apple is very nutrient. The nutrition point of view is very good. It helps to dehydrate. It gives you some sugar. And in the first minute, you will still listening to me. After the first minute and a half, you start going away from me because you are distracted by other things. So if I am too long in that explanation before the end, I lose you. And I don't see it. Because you will be watching me, but you are not listening to me. When I say you, I say public, I mean the public. So what happens that when we have complicated things to explain, we still think about 1 or 2 sentences. Then in my case, I try also to use my Italian technique of using the hands, smile, put something that might make people smile. With some people it works, with some other people it doesn't work because they are too up there, therefore you cannot do it. And then you cut straight down to the conclusion. So we're waiting your decision about the beginning, the project that we are presenting. So reinforcing that, then you let them talk and you listen because the model is there or the sketch is there. So this is the hard part for many people. And it was very hard for me too. But then little by little, you realize that what they teach you in school is right. And what important managers that like you suggest you to help you, they're right.
Well, I think I don't know how many schools place a big enough importance on presentation. I mean, we were taught that. I mean, they talked to us about it, for example, but it was more about like make sure your sketches are lined up like this, and it was more a visual thing. You know, it wasn't. Nobody really spoke to us about the importance of. I mean, there was information. They did say like, you know, show up early and make sure that you are organized, but there wasn't like. There were so many useless things that we learned that I think, like, could we not just not fucking worry about designing dishwasher tablets and let's talk about presentation, you know, presenting an idea, formulating a point, having conviction, you know, and distilling your message down to the essence, what you just talked about now.
You know, when I was a student in Art Center and I was following that class, you know, about communication and portfolio. It was at the last semester. The teacher was, how can I say, he had his own studio. He was not working for a company. It was his own company. So he was a consultancy in communication design. And the guy was explaining us lots of interesting things that we didn't know. And then he made an experiment one day. He said, I'm going to show you how ridiculous you are today. So he took a camera and he said, okay, the camera will be filming. Now, each one of you have 2 minutes with a drawing and just talk about your drawing, thinking that you are presenting to an audience or to a design director. So each one of us were very happy there is a camera after we're going to see the video. You know. Then he showed us the video, but twice the speed. And we were looking all like clowns. All the defaults of our gestual mode of being like every day, without thinking, without coordinating, without thinking how you move your hands and use your eyes. How you don't have to be all the time like this, but embrace. How you move on to capture the public, and then you come back not to be too oppressive. He explained a lot of things. So when I was a chair at the Institute of Heavy Design, because I opened up the first transportation design department at IAAD in Torino, I was the first one, and I ruled this for 10 years. I had a class which was called Portfolio and Management. And I used to teach that class. It was the last year. We were making the portfolio of every student that was ready to get their diploma. So I was checking CV, business cards at that time, graphics, editorial graphics, and most of all, the portfolio. What type of portfolio do you have? Because portfolio is a presentation without words. So I see the first project. What do I see? Do I get already annoyed at the first one? I mean, what is the right strategy to prepare a portfolio? And I always say it's like a heartbeat, you know? When I see it, it's like I open the door and I see somebody that makes my heart go, you know, pump 2000 beats per second because of some reasons. And okay, and what's next? Because what you want to do, you want to make sure that that heartbeat, that tension, it goes up, it stays, it goes up, it stays, it can come down a little bit, and then it stays and goes up again at the end. If you do that, there is a good chance that I will watch that portfolio from the beginning until the end. And I will say, not bad. In that portfolio, you don't have to put a single bad sketch, because I will remember you for that bad sketch, even if everything else is right. And some students told me, but why? That's not fair. Sorry, life is not fair. It's psychological. When we see people, we have an ego. I have an ego. Everybody has an ego. In car design, like in journalism, medicine, our ego, let's say, is a little bit more developed, okay? So when we see someone else similar to us that is presenting, what do we think of? First, that we are better than this guy or this girl. I mean, you can present whatever you want. I know that I am at your level or better. So we are looking for that default. Then when we see that there is no default and the work is really good, then we change and we say, I have lots of esteem and regards for this person. Excellent. Then we change. It's psychological. I'm not a bad guy or a mean guy. I think I'm not. But it's psychological. Because there is a sort of, when the two, how do you call the two chicken, are in the same space, they are watching, to understand who is going to be the boss, who is going to be under, at the beginning they are both. So it's a moment you measure yourself in reality, because there is always a little bit of insecurity. You don't feel probably, so you are trying right away to understand bad, worst. And when students come to show their portfolio, and in their portfolio there is that bad thing, that's when we put our finger inside the blusher, and say, look, how can you come and show that? Or we don't say it, and we say, no, this guy, is he like that or like that? Because there is that bad thing, I don't feel sure, I feel unsafe. And because hiring people is almost like a marriage, you got to be very careful, because hiring people, it's also a human thing. It's not just because of talent. I often say, your portfolio, yourself, remember when you go for an interview to find a job, 50% your talent, 50% it's your human factor.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. That goes without saying. I mean, we talked about this a few times with other people. People like if at some level, a lot of people can do what you can do, and you need to work with somebody at the end of the day. You need to sit next to them. You need to interact with them. And if you're an arsehole, people are not going to want to work with you.
At the end, no. And it becomes a problem in the team, because every manager, not at my level, because I'm not the one that hires people, but I imagine my boss, of course he has to think about it, because there is a team. You don't want to destabilize that team because somebody comes in and becomes like a crazy person that it's ruining the harmony that it's hard to find.
I think that's absolutely 100% correct. When you look at, like, if you've got a team that, as you use the word harmonious, that is working in a harmonious fashion, and everything is functioning and it's all going, and you've got this person that you want to bring into the team because they are the superstar and they have got all these great skills and whatnot, and they come in with a toxic attitude, it will fuck up the whole harmony that you've just talked about.
It can happen.
It can happen.
They're not all like that. We have really excellent designers in Renault. I can assure you that all the people that I met, I interact with, they are very, very nice.
No, I'm saying if the person comes in with a toxic attitude,
But I think that today you don't let him in.
Yeah, I know. No, but this is a lesson to I mean, that sort of thing I think is tolerated a lot less nowadays, you know, and I think that's a positive thing, because they shouldn't be let in.
Yes, I agree. You gotta be very careful.
Luciano, what do you do anything for like your do you do any meditating or wellness or anything like that to kind of?
No. I have a very good sports.
Cigars and red wine.
It's a cigar, coach sports, sofa sport.
Yeah.
TV, Formula One. When I have free time, soccer.
But
I don't do sports. I don't do meditation.
You know what strikes me when I speak, like every time it's only been a couple of times, but when I speak to you and I see you speaking to other people, you always are very present. You are very there in the moment. And that's also not a really common thing nowadays, you know, with all the stimulation around and you know, a lot of people have got like brain fatigue from all the noise around them. I mean, I have it as well sometimes, you know. I often struggle to be like truly present with somebody, you know. And but when I see, every time I see you speak or I've spoken to you myself, it's like you are there in the moment, and that's why I asked this question.
Because I enjoy. I enjoy your company. I enjoy the videos I do. I know that the people that follow me on YouTube, they want to breathe the information, you know, that I give. I know that there is a chance I can help even just one person. I'm very, very, very happy. So for me, sharing is important. Sharing is important. I have been very lucky. I worked my ass off. That's true. I mean, it's not that I didn't do anything. Nothing has been given to me from granted. Okay, even to get in Fiat was not that easy, or to get hired in Renault, which was much more sophisticated, and get accepted, you know, all the way until the hiring was really done.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask you that as well. But finish what you.
Yeah, and so what I was saying is that. Sharing, it's nice when you had the luck of having had some type of difficult and complicated experience that a lot of people cannot have. So when I came back to Italy, I said we gotta make a school like Art Center. And with European design for 10 years, we were acting almost like Art Center, with the same methodology, kicking ass. And people still today saying when Luciano was there, it was like a beautiful military service, and we had all the people got hired.
But this was IAAD, right?
Yeah, 94, 2000.
Okay, but IAAD was there before.
IAAD, I taught at IAAD 2 years, and after I quit it, and the same time I was teaching at Art Center Europe every weekend, every Saturday, invited by Uwe Bonsen, and I've taught at Art Center Europe for 4 years every weekend.
Wow.
I used to go with one time with Andreas Zapatinas, the designer of the Barchetta, Fiat Barchetta.
Yeah.
That is still in Torino. He's a design consultant today. And I used to go there also with Greg Brew. I don't know if you know him.
Greg Brew, no, but he sounds pretty cool.
Who is an excellent designer, VP at... I don't have the name of the company right now, but they make trains and special type of motorcycles.
Bombardier, no? No.
No, the other one.
I don't know.
There are two. One is in Canada, and the other one is in America.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Bombardier is in Canada, I think.
Okay. But so tell me how you ended up in Renault though, because I always, if I think about you, I think about Renault.
Yeah, I have to say that when I was a young designer, I always try, thanks to the school, they paid me the trip to go to the auto show in Geneva, Frankfurt, and Torino.
Wow.
And in Fiat, I was a young designer, so I didn't have the right to go. So because it was tolerated that I taught at school, every director I had, they said, don't worry, do whatever you want. So I used to go. And when I used to go there, with the excuse of showing the dépliant of the school, you know, I went to meet important people like Patrick Lequemont. And I got their business cards. I gave my business card of the school. I gave the pamphlet, you know. So I met people from Ford, BMW, Renault. I met Patrick Lecharpie, Jean-Pierre Plouet, when they were very young, just did the first Kangoo and the first Twingo.
Wow.
So, you know, that gave me the opportunity to start building, you know, a network of contacts. I used to do for the school, but then at the end, it was, of course, also for myself. So when I completed the Fiat Seicento, which was my first baby.
Show me the model. You've got a model, right?
Yeah, I got this small model.
Show everyone the model, because everybody gets pissed off because I don't have somebody to edit images into the discussion as well. So there you go.
Yeah, but anyway, there is a picture I sent you, me with the car. That's much better than this one. And anyway, I felt that, like in America, always told me, you know, after 5 years you have to change, because you have to plan your career, which is good, which is right. So planning your career means you stay from 2 to 5 years in the same company, you learn, you do a little bit of career eventually, then you change, and then you get 30% more. And then you get a better job, better paid, better role. So I had in my mind, I said, it's already 10 years I'm here in Fiat. It's true that I am in my comfort zone with the design school, my friends, work, you know. I have to get out of this, you know. I need a new challenge. I was young. I was 35. So I told myself it's time to try. And I was talking about this with a friend from a supplier.
But sorry, you have kids yet, or at this age?
No. I got married late, at the age of 39.
Okay.
So this is much sooner. Earlier.
Okay.
And this guy told me, you know, I know that Renault is looking for a manager. I don't think it's for cars, it's for buses in Lyon, but it's the same team. If you do well there, I'm sure they will take you. And then they're developing a lot of things, you know. So I wrote a letter to Patrick Lequemont that we used to exchange cards, Christmas cards, every year, because this is something that I always like to do. And so I said, I feel now the right time to address myself to you. I hope that I can deserve to be considered as an eventual young design manager. And everything started from there. So Piero Stroppa, that at that time was the LCV design director, he was needing the guy for design management at Irisbus. Now today the company has changed, but anyway, it was Fiat buses and Renault trucks together to make buses, you know, very futuristic buses. And there was the Civic, Irisbus or Crystalis, that were very advanced technology. So everything inside was very new. And they only had the model, but they need all the step of industrialization, and they wanted to have a design manager from Paris there following the whole step. So that's where I started. But after the first 6 months, there was Dacia came into the picture. And they said, we have a restyling, you know, we need a restyling for a car. who can go there? And they decided that Piero Stroppa, with his team, he would choose a design manager and some designers to make that it was a mini project. And they sent me because I already had the experience in Poland with the Fiat Seicento. I spent many months in Poland.
Where?
In
Which?
Tichy.
Tichy.
Tichy, it's where there is Fiat Auto Poland.
Ah.
Bielsko-Biała.
Bielsko-Biała. And
Katowice.
Katowice. Okay, I know Katowice. But you can you speak Polish?
No,
okay. Okay. Anyway, carry on.
And then basically they said, well, Luciano has this in his CV. He did the car over there. Let's see. And I spent 6 months on and off between IDEA Institute in Torino that was developing the design and the model, the technical department in Pitești in Romania, and therefore I was doing a little bit the buses and a lot more of this. And then at the end we did all the presentations, the final model, and I followed until we went into production. And there Jean-François Venet, that sadly is not with us anymore, my ex big boss, told me, we don't need you in Lyon, we need you here. And that changed the opportunities I had in Renault. And I had lots of beautiful experiences, still today.
Wow.
But then we had India, China, and now I'm back into LCV with great projects.
And so when you started there, Patrick was at the helm.
Patrick Lequemont was the director. He was in the middle of the best time for Renault design.
How much interaction were you having with him, Luciano, in work?
I have to tell you honestly, during the official presentations of my projects, there have been several. So I had to say that each one could speak, talk, exchange. It was very, very nice. Then you understand when Patrick wanted to take a certain direction and even not listen to you. So that's okay. That's a choice. He was paid for that also. So that's okay. And then we had a lots of interesting activities organized that Patrick wanted to organize for designers, design management, team building, with a lots of cultural stuff. And that was a time when it was more relaxed. We were more like a big family. And that was really beautiful. Very beautiful.
What strikes me is that company in general, it seems like there's a lot of people that stay there for a long time, which is
it's a beautiful company.
It seems that way, and there's I mean the talent in that company is insane as well. When you look at, I mean, it's unreal. The people that have come out of there, I mean, yeah, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
Let's say that Renault always has been very, very cautious in hiring people, design, because there were really some prerequisites that you had to attend before you could get in and go to the next step for an hiring, And I think this is good. It's a little bit like in Art Center, the interview to make sure that with your entry portfolio, you really show that you have some talent before investing on that talent, And that's one thing that I always kept when I was teacher at IAAD, that interview with anybody that wanted to get into the school, always, because you had to make a pre-selection in order to get, as we say in France, la crème de la crème,
Yeah.
So the best of of what you can select between a group of people, because car design is so demanding, so competitive, it's so small and closed that the only people can get in is because that's why there are those that have a strong talent, and human factor. And that's why I always say to people that don't believe me from other fields, like, I don't know, somebody is a lawyer or my country, in my country, we say, but if you know somebody important, that's how you get your job, it's easy. In my field, even in Italy, I never seen somebody that had a kick in the back and to say, you hire him and basta, and don't discuss. No, because that guy or that girl, if it's just for that, he will get lost in a matter of 2-3 months, and would be a big psychological problem. So we cannot afford to make those type of favors or service,
Right. Yeah. Well, I think, I was having, who was this? I was having this conversation with, I don't know who it was, but no, it was Adrian Morton, actually, the MV Augusta guy. And, he was saying that, like, there tends to be a general pattern, with people that have excelled in, it's not just design, but it's in general, but I mean, if you were to isolate it in design specifically, like, there is a kind of a general pattern, and that's one of, like, hard work, dedication, perseverance, sacrifice, and all that stuff. And I think that, there's this misconception sometimes that your father was quite a special guy, right? And he was able to at least get the door open for you to go and meet the people at Pininfarina. But
protective, but I let you do.
Right. So that's obviously a benefit that maybe somebody else doesn't have. At the same time, if you don't do something with that, if you don't work with it, if you don't dedicate yourself to the craft, if you don't commit to this opportunity, then it's not gonna work either, you know? And I think that that's something that people need to realize, it's like, just because you are not born into the right family or the right set of circumstances doesn't mean that you can't make it happen, and vice versa. You can be born into the right family and you can be a total fuck up, and you can have all the doors open for you in the world, and if you don't do anything with it, and if you don't commit to whatever it is that you want to do, then people are not going to be interested, and you'll go out as quickly as you came in.
I know a few people that did not have the chance to have a, between quotes, normal family in terms of parents, dedicated, even busy, like was my case, but still always dedicated, protective, that they stay a step back because they understand when is the time that you have to grow, and then you have to make yourself. So there have been cases like that where people did not have that luck. But I can assure you, those people that I know, they work like hell, and they get to an incredible type of goal, much higher than mine. Because those are people that understand that when you think you have a talent, you have a passion, when you think that you to make that passion become your profession, it's already a big gift. And then you have to work hard, and you have to be dedicated, serious. Of course, we all laugh and stuff, but at the same time, business is business, and we have to be careful. And I see people that get to a point, very, very, very important levels, even if they don't have a very secure, nice family. And as you said, that's because those people understand the importance in their lives of, in certain situations, especially for work, that is for life after work, that you must be serious. You cannot be too superficial, and you have to be superficial on other things.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yes.
Luciano,
Yes.
I guess we probably need to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
Dude, I just want to say, I've said this to you off camera, but I want to say this on camera as well for the rest of the other people to hear. What you are doing in general for people for young people wanting to become designers or wanting to learn more about design is absolutely incredible. And I think that I know that you're doing private lessons where you are earning money, but there's also the option for anybody to come along on a Tuesday or
Tuesday and Fridays.
Tuesday and Friday and sketch with you or listen to you talk.
Yes.
And that is something that I don't know anybody else that's doing. And that's a really fucking cool thing. And I have to say, much respect for doing that, dude.
Thank you very much. I enjoy, as I said before, I think it's time to share. I am 58 years old, so
what?
I am in the position to say that for me it's the time to share. But in reality, I do this since 2006. When I opened up my first blog, I was blogger.com. And then it became lucianobove.com, which is my website with my name. And then YouTube, so Luciano Bove Car Designer. Already 4 or 5 years. Instagram with Luciano Bove 1, so with the number 1 at the end of Luciano Bove, all attached. And people that are curious or that feel that I can give a hand or they can learn something or they have questions. Today I was reviewing a portfolio, and then I of course in private via email I can give feedbacks and stuff. Sometimes I give some online courses. Okay, that's also something that I do to help people to get accepted to transportation design schools. Okay, to be more prepared, especially on the basics of drawings. That I think also in schools sometimes in some schools has been a little bit forgotten, just a little. So I think that I have this mission. Let's not forget how to use our free hands and the normal pencil, a few markers, and make things good already just in that way before going to digital.
Very, very cool. Oh, and also listen, your live chat as well, by the way, that I caught by chance on Friday with Mr. Filippini.
Yeah, with Fabio, yes.
Amazing. Really good chat. Anybody that hasn't watched that needs to watch it. It was really interesting. He's a great guy as well.
Well, if you, I will give you his email so that if you want, you can bring it into this beautiful Crown Unfiltered lounge, you know.
Wow, that would be cool. That would be really cool. Yeah. Luciano, thanks a lot, dude. That was
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.